Tonight we're going to be making a sausage, and we're doing this very low-tech way. I don't have a sausage grinder and I don't have casings to stuff it in, so we're going to actually improvise and see how we can actually do this. I'm going to be using my food processor to grind out the meat, and then I'm going to actually use film wrap to make the sausage with. It's going to be a fresh sausage that I'm actually going to cook tonight to be prepared for later. It's going to be, the sausage that we're making is actually going to be a pork and apple sausage. Over here you see my ingredients. I've got apple cider, salt and pepper. This is about 15 grams of salt and about a third of a teaspoon, or about a teaspoon of pepper, maybe less. An apple, some garlic, and then the pork shoulder. If you look real close, you can see this pork shoulder is very chilled still. It's got ice crystals on it. It's not frozen all the way through, but it is chilled to the point of being frozen, almost. I've also have my bowl has been in the freezer for a while. My food processor has been in the freezer for a while. The main purpose is we don't want this to get too warm. If it gets real warm, then the fat will bleed away from it, which is what we don't want to have happen, because we want that fat in there to make a nice juicy sausage later on. Right, cut. Okay. We're going to do a little bit of the meat at a time. You don't want to do too much because you want to keep it cold. And you do too much and it'll actually warm up from the friction of the blade. And your best bet is to pulse it. Keep an eye on what you're doing. If you go too fast at once, you're actually going to break it down too fast and too quick. Okay, trying to get a nice ground consistency. Not too ground because we want a little chunky still, because the type of sausage I'm making is kind of almost a country, but not quite. We don't want it so fine that it becomes a pate. Alright? And so now we'll continue with the rest of it and get it going up really nice to make the rest of the sausage. Okay, next we're going to get this apple ready. I'm only going to use probably about half of it. I'm going to chop it up. I want this to be nice chunks in there, right? So, I'm going to core it. Get it right out of there. Now, I'm looking roughly about this size right here. And you could peel the apple if you want to. I kind of like the peel, so I'm going to leave it in there. You can have chunks about like that when you're done. Go in. Okay, apples in, add the garlic in, like so. Notice we're fancy. We got handy dandy tools to work with here. Couple fingers. Salt and pepper. Now, we're going to mix this up first. Try and get that seasoning spread around really good. And it's still cold. Just the way we want it. It should feel very cold. You could mix this with a mixer. You could mix it with your hand, or your hand. You could mix it with a tool. You know what? I find the hands are great because I can actually feel it. I could grab it from out there. That'd be crazy. But not what we're doing today. Okay, notice it's all sticky. You want that. And then the cider. This is actually my cider. It's actually stuff I got from Hillcrest Road? No. From Galmetto Farms. And I fermented it myself. This is actually my oak aged cider. So, should give it a nice flavor. You want to get that cider and get it mixed. Now you could use pretty much anything you want. A lot of times they'll want, like, the recipes will call for like red wine or white wine. I'm crazy like this. I use stuff I make. Oh yeah. Okay, and we are now at a stage where we're going to be ready to actually test this, make sure our seasoning's good. So, in a second, I'm going to get cleaned up, get some stuff ready to go. We'll do a tester and see where we're at. You should be good, but you never know. So we're going to test it before you commit to it. So, wait a second. Now we have our little sausage bomb. We're going to put it in simmering water, roughly between 160 and 180 degrees. It's right around 160 right now. Drop it in, let it go. We'll let that cook off, and once that's done, we'll test the flavorings on it and see where we're at. Should be good. Alright, we've cooked this. It should be ready now. We're going to pull it out. We're going to leave that going because we're going to cook the rest of the sausage in there. Pop it over to the cutting board. Pop it out of the makeshift skin. See how good we did? Oh yeah, looks pretty good. Cooked pretty good. Looks nice. Look at that. Nice little sausage. Check it. I think the flavor's pretty good, so we're gonna go with it. We'll make up the rest of it, and we'll go from there. Okay. Now, as I said, we're not using an actual skin for this. We're actually going to use seal wrap. So I've got the seal wrap laid out. Grab the sausage. We're going to get it laid in, like so. And voila. Actually, not quite that much. I want to do about half and half. So pull this one out. Yeah. Doesn't have to be pretty to go in there right now, because now I'm going to form my sausage. So I grab this, work it the way I want it to look. And if you remember from an earlier episode, our bench knife. I actually use that to get it set just the way we want it to look. Like so. Tighten it down, make sure that all the air is gone. And we've got sausage ready to be cooked. Now, one thing we could do, you could actually do this as like breakfast patties if you really wanted to, or just about anything else. What a good way to do it would be is with this part, you could actually freeze it from here and just slice off as you need it. But the way it is right now, I'm going to cook it like this because we're going to use it again soon.